everyone, and welcome to this episode of Discovering Laguna Woods. I'm Cindy Whitney, and today we're going to be spending some time with someone you may know by her sense of humor and her imaginative ideas. If you stay right there, I'm coming back with writer and self-described word ninja, Cheryl Russell. So stay right there, I'm coming back, you're going to love her. Today?
I'm wonderful. We have beautiful weather. What more can we ask for, right?
Boy, that's the truth. That's the truth. Well, I just wanted to let you know that we're so happy that you're here. And a lot of our viewers may feel that you are familiar to them because I think that they have seen you, although it has been in a postage stamp size image in the Globe newspaper on the editorial page where you inhabit Cheryl's Corner and write some very thought-provoking and imaginative and clever editorials. So my question to you, my first question is, tell us a little bit about how you came to Laguna Woods. And I know you do other types of formats of writing and constructs of writing. Why do you choose the editorial format?
The editorial format is one of the best. I learned early on that 425 words is what fits. And I've always believed that the word has to earn its right on the page. The page, whether we touch it or whether it's digital, is the king. And so the size of it and the amount that's on it is important. So the editorial, the column, for me, keeps my writing concise, keeps it to the point. It's fun because you could be a little bit quick and still get your point across. So that's what I enjoy, is the fun of getting a lot of information in a small, concise space.
Yes, it is kind of a point of view, and there's just so many things that you can write about, because I know in our newspaper you've written about holidays and most recently kindness. So it can be about something or something that you wish people would think more about or think differently about, and you do it in a beautiful way that's it's entertaining, but it's also very, very informative. And I look forward to your column every time it's in there. So how did you come to Laguna Woods?
It was a bit by accident. And if the truth be told, which that's what we're doing here, my intention was to stay for 6 months. Well, that was 12 years ago. So I came here after my mother had passed away and everything just kind of came together. I needed an interim place to live while I got my thoughts together, while I decided where I was going to move to. And so in that 6-month time, I went to the recreation department and said, well, while I'm here, I'll go ahead and lead a laughter class if that's something of interest to you. And then I bumped into wonderful Barbara Mescon, who told me that if I could just paint a little red heart on my nose, that I could be a clown, because I was a little bit concerned about all of the makeup and everything. And so I joined the Clown Alley, took the college from Carla, and became a clown. And then 6 months went by and I was looking for a place to live, and here we are.
Wow, that's remarkable. I haven't taken your laughter yoga class, but I saw it on Zoom, and I really want to know, how do you get that many people to have that much fun when all together in a circle when they're, how do you do that? It's just such a joy to even watch it.
Well, I trained as a laughter leader, excuse me, and believe it or not, we do take training. It is a worldwide effort, a worldwide movement rather, founded by Dr. Madan Kataria. And I met him like within a month or so after I had decided to become a leader. And he's quite outstanding. And the key is the eye contact. And so that's why Zoom still works, because we're like up close and personal. We could see the eyes, we could see the laughter. And what some people think is laughter, at jokes or something specific. The real benefits of laughter are when we laugh for no reason. And he's written a book called Laugh for No Reason. And that's what we do. And you activate the laughter with just simple, silly things. And, we do wiggly giggly laughter. We make giggle juice. We do laugh in slow motion, anything. And once the body gets used to just laughing like this, then what happens, Cindy, is that the cells just start responding. The whole chemistry of the body responds. And every single class, sometimes people start out and they go, wasn't even sure I wanted to come here. I didn't feel like laughing and everything. And then by the end of class, when we do a check-in, everybody's like, oh my gosh, I just have so much energy. And that's how it works. And once you're, like I say, it's like anything. You start practicing walking further, you practice your jogging or whatever it is. And we're up on our feet just to make sure people realize some come with their mats. And we do have a meditation at the end, but it's all about being on your feet, moving around. And when we were in class, that's what we did. But it works great on Zoom. I love it.
Well, it's funny, when I read about the classes, I look at all the classes that are being offered, and I saw that one and I thought, now, how do you do that? Does everyone just get down on their mat and you stand there and do stand up? I figured, how are you going to get these people to laugh? And then when I watched it, I thought, you've reduced these people to their childlike selves. They're just, it's completely uninhibited. They're just laughing for laughter's sake. They're just dancing and throwing their arms up in the air and having the best time. It was infectious. I was laughing with them, not at them. I was laughing with them because I felt a release just watching it. I will definitely sign up for that class because it looks like so much fun. I also, speaking of children, I saw the work that you are doing with young elementary school children. And I'll let you explain it. But the thing that I took away from it was you were talking to them about, knowledge and imagination equal ideas. And children, I know they think about things, but they didn't know that was an idea. They didn't know that was valuable. They didn't know that was a thing until you told them. And just watching this amazing sort of realization that they've got this value in their heads, and you're helping them sort of organize that. I thought, wow, what a powerful thing you're doing. Tell us about that.
Well, in 2001, my book, The Story of the Star Hearts, came out. It's a very gorgeous book for children of all ages. And it is the story of imagination. And so the Star Heart is a symbol of that imagination, because otherwise, everybody's going like this. Well, what? And I'm a kinetic learner. So I developed in 2012, I started a nonprofit to provide books as a takeaway to a program that I called Camp Starheart. And so it's difficult to get into the school system. The teachers are overwhelmed and overloaded. But working through an after-school program provided by Think Together, again, used creative imagination to come up with that idea. And they became the partner where we could deliver the program. And just pretty awesome. Santa Ana School District, Tustin, Orange School Districts, thousands of children have received this program, and what they learn is that they have this amazing tool. You know, we may have a device like this, and they think that's where it is, and people think that the creativity is on the computer, it's here, it's there, but it all starts right here. It starts in the mind. And you know, that's where my ideas come from for the column, is it's all up here. It's like, ooh. And so the formula for imagination is to combine knowledge and imagination to come up with new and creative ideas. So we build on knowledge, and then the word imagination, we just take that apart, because again, you could just say imagination, everybody thinks you're born with it or you're not, and you could cultivate it with 3 simple questions. What if? What would it be like? And my favorite one, who wrote that rule? And that's not to be mean or, you know, talking back, but it's to just activate, well, do we always have to do it that way? What if we tried this? And so I help the children see that they have that ability, and they could use it out on this playground. Like, how are we gonna fix these 2 people that can't get along? Or what do I do if I can't really figure out math? Or, you know, I'm not getting along with my brother at home. It helps. It was a way to give them a tool.
I noticed that. I noticed that you were giving them something that they can use elsewhere. It is a tool. It's something in their toolkit for thinking about things. You gave them, you know, there are things that come into their mind, but you gave them a way to channel that and put it into something else that they can use in a variety of different situations. And oh my goodness, I mean, and they can take that the whole rest of their lives. They're going to take that through their school years. They're going to take that through their work life, their personal life, and say, this is how you can resolve problems this way. You can come up with new solutions to things this way. We always need creativity. And you gave them this wonderful fledgling beginning to how to think about creativity. I just think that's marvelous. I think that should be in every school. I hope this explodes and expands and is everywhere.
I agree. And I had parents tell me all the time, you know, I know imagination is important, but I didn't know how to teach it.
Yeah. Oh, I know, you did it so simply. You taught them that at their level, so they can understand what you're talking about. You didn't have to say, you know, it's something, you know, at a graduate level explanation of, you know, cognitive learning. You just gave, you know, you give it to them where they can grasp it, and then they will take that forward. You know, I noticed that you're big on acronyms. I want you to tell us about your STOP acronym.
Oh my goodness, this truly is my calling card. And it was, I used it in my second book called Thank Youology, How the Art of Saying Thank You Transforms Your Life. And it actually is going to be the basis of a new book, because I have truly lived my life with this acronym. And STOP is my response to no, which is an interesting combination. You know, when you think of, oh, I want to go forward, I want to get this done, but we have to stop so that we can see the other possibilities. I'll repeat that. See the other possibilities. So the acronym is STOP. Stop for, and so again, it goes back to, well, how do you stop? How do you see the other possibilities? I like to take and deconstruct words, because we can all say the words, but do we really know what they mean? And more importantly, do we know how to activate what those words mean? Okay, we could say, okay, yeah, I meditate, but what is that? What does that mean? You know, and what's the outcome? I'm a very, you know, I worked in nonprofit for 15 years, raised money, always looking at the outcomes. What, you know, what are the benefits? You know, and so again, to get there, to see those other possibilities, we go back to those 3 questions. Use the imagination. How? What if? What would it be like? And who wrote that role? Oh,
That's remarkable because you can change so many things
yes,
if you just look at another perspective, look at
yes,
another way of doing something. I mean,
yes,
I've worked in places in my life where people said, well, that's the way we do it. That's the way we
yes,
have to do it. We have
that's
so many
right.
other restrictions. That's the only way to do it. And
Yeah.
they're, reluctant to look at the other possibilities because there's some risk involved in that, Cheryl. And people
And
people
I
don't like
guess
risk.
I guess I'm a risk taker because
You are.
I but all I can say is my life has been made abundantly magical because this is how I've lived. This is how I've come out of squeaky, scary, potentially type situations. And by that, I mean, other people were worried for me. Well, what are you going to do? You only have 2 weeks to find another place to live. I mean, that sort of thing to, you know, my travels and oh, okay, now we've got this situation. How do we deal with it? It's endless. It is endless.
Before we run out of time, because I don't want to do that, I
Sure.
want to get to something that points out the practicality of what you're talking about here today. You also work with nascent, emerging businesses and companies that are trying to establish an identity and a profile in a very crowded work environment, and you help them see their identity and you help them frame that. Tell us a little bit about that, if you can do that.
Sure. I work for an incredible um, marketing, public relations, communications agency. And we deal strictly in med tech for healthcare. And yes, you're absolutely right. It's a noisy field, a lot of innovative thinking and so forth. But the key, and again, this comes back to my column writing. The key is identifying the message. What is your message? And the process to get to that singular message that identifies that company. And it's a brilliant process, and it takes time because you have to evaluate all your constituents. You have to hear how they perceive the product, how they benefit from the product, all of these things. And then again, you come in with that bulletproof message that targets, and then that's your roadmap for everything else that you're going to do, your social media, your press releases, your communication to all your constituents, anything. It has to be that razor sharp message. And I think that work and everything else is, again, what ties back to my joy in writing the column, because I'm kind of bringing all of this background every month.
Well, and I think that those companies, I am fascinated by that work that you're doing because these companies, I'm sure that they just keep looking inward when they're trying to define themselves and trying to say, this is who we are. They're looking around the room and thinking, well, this is who we are. But they're, as you say, they're not looking out. They're not user centered or their
Right.
constituents or their customers centered. They're looking in toward themselves and trying to define them. And so you're the possibilityologist. Sorry, you got me going now on
we
this.
possibilitate. I love to make
Possibilitate, that's it.
Yeah, we imaginate, we possibilitate, we activate, and then we celebrate success.
You read Dr. Seuss a lot when you were a child, didn't you?
I love poetic verse. I love playing around with words. Yes, I do.
Well, why not? Words are just, it's a codified, what is it, a system of communicating. So, you can make up all the
Yes,
words you want.
yes.
And we're the better for it. Speaking of that, are there things that you're going to be, that you're working on now to share with us as our wonderful Cheryl's Corner editorialist?
Well, after 10, I just passed my 10-year anniversary. The February column was 10 years. I started with Barbara Potter as the editor. And, some days or sometimes I think, oh my goodness, am I running out of ideas? And I just sort of say, okay, I'm on the hunt for a new idea. And then something pops into my mind. And all it takes is just, I have something that I'm working on about about animals, common bonds between animals, a koi fish and a golden retriever. And so I was playing around doing some research on that yesterday and seeing National Geographic and different ones. And I have a book of great stories. But again, I wanted to okay, well, how does that play into human relationships? Do we get along with someone just like us or someone very different? And so again, I'm asking all these, well, what if we check this out? I might come up with something on my new favorite umbrella, because that's how we do it. That's how it comes in. And and believe me, this, as a writer, you have to write it down or you'll lose the idea.
Well, exactly. And I'm sure they come fast and furious. We have a lot of writers here in the village.
Yes.
People who write novels and short stories and, journaling and so forth, lots of things. And I know that you are a very intense researcher too. I know that when you're interested in something, you really delve down into that so that you can, I guess it's just so that you can have all of these, sort of verbal resources or, philosophical resources at your disposal as you write. Is that part of your process?
Most definitely. And I, kind of gotten in the pattern now when I'm thinking about future columns. I have on my taskbar, and of course you can write notes. And so I put for February, kindness, that's what I wanted to do. And for March, and April. And then as I'm researching or as I'm just bumping along, reading this and reading that, I go, oh, that would be good information. I take the link and I put it into that task reminder. And so, yes, for example, the kindness piece was a combination of 3+ articles that I was drawing from. And that's pretty common to draw. And then I draw from, I have my own input. And it's interesting that you say, that I really dig down. There's a book called Range by David Epstein, and I highly recommend it for people that for all of us, the book is Range: How Generalists Thrive in a Specialist World. And so I am a lot. I mean, I'm like the pebble or the rock that you skip along on the top of the water. I like to just, I read the paper and I go chip, 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 But you're right. When something gets my attention, then I drill down.
Well, yeah. I thank you for sharing that. I know there are so many other things that go into your writing process, but just helping us to understand how you start and how you continue on with these things that are just never really leaving your mind. You've given us a lot to think about today, and we thank you very, very, very much for coming to us in person. We know you in print, and now we know you in that's Zoom real life. Right. We know you in real life. And I would love to have other conversations with you, Cheryl, because you are a delight to talk to and to brainstorm with, and just think about life through a different perspective, a different point of view, and look at different possibilities. So thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate you.
Oh, you're so welcome, Cindy. Thank you. The pleasure's been mine. And I wish you continued success. You've been doing this quite a while, and gold stars to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today as we spent some time with writer Cheryl Russell, who taught us lots of things, including one of the most important things is to always try and see things from someone else's point of view. You never know what you might discover. Thanks for joining us on Wednesday and Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. on Village Television, and any old time you want to on Village Television YouTube. Please take good care of yourselves and be kind to those around you. You know we're all going to get through this together. Take good care. Bye-bye.